it's winter, my favourite time of year for photography here in the South Island. Look at these beautiful conditions. We've got the moon up there, some gentle light, atmosphere, everything's frosted over. Yesterday I was running a private workshop and the moon was setting an hour earlier yesterday, and we're able to line it up on the mountain there. I'll pull that image up now, but what a beautiful moment that was. And I just wanted to come out again today, and I have zero ideas about what I'm doing, but I'm sure if you're watching this video, there must be something decent, otherwise I wouldn't publish it on YouTube. But what I'm doing this morning is how I like to approach my photography in general, not having really a preconceived idea, just getting out in nature and then listening to what it's saying and reacting accordingly, and just having that basically a dance or a conversation with the light, with nature. So let's go out into nature and see what speaks to us, what catches our eye. I'll talk you through the creative process, what I'm thinking about, and how I like to create my images. I'm curious if we can align the moon with something, and all we need to do is change our position to do that. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on the moon as we run along. The trees over here have a frosting on them as well. Everything in this valley is frosted at the moment, so I am curious, can we use the telephoto and maybe get some tree images? Oh, look at this little perspective here. The curve of the river, that peak. Also looking up the valley, incredible. And not to mention all the mist, which is just really pulling it together. It's quite a wide angle scene, so I'll get the wide angle lens out. You know, ooh, there's the moon up there actually. And there's some trees. We might be able to get an image here of these trees with the moon. If we run that way with the telephoto, quick change of plans. We're going to grab the telephoto. It might be even an 800mm shot. We're going to have to move our position quite a lot to see if we can get this comp. So at the moment, the moon is just way too high, too much distance from the trees. But if we run this way, now I'm in a rush because I don't want the sun to make all the trees too bright. It'll just lose the impact, I think, and be nicer as more of a silhouette. You can see how handy it is having a telephoto lens as a landscape photographer. It's a really good shot up here, actually. I think we're not going to get the moon image. What's caught my eye is the tree in the distance with the peak in the back. We'll look through the long lens, but that looks beautiful. When you're using a wide angle lens to compose, every few inches you move can make a dramatic difference in the frame. With the telephoto, because we're capturing things so far away, the movements you make are generally quite large. You know, I've been walking a few hundred meters here, just looking at the tree in the back with the mountain, trying to change the alignment of those two subjects. And yeah, you have to really pre-visualize what you're after and how to pull it all together. Oh, wow, there is some epic layering now as the fog in the background is breaking up all the trees behind. Oof. It's an interesting comp though, with the trying to offset mountain to the right, tree to the left, just to create a balance. This is what fog will do. It creates possibilities for you. I'm not getting the river in because I think that's a bit distracting. What a beautiful frame. Just slightly tweaking the comp because soon that fog's going to disappear, I think. Just like that, it's gone as fast as it arrived. The fog in the background's just dispersed and it's just lost that separation. That's what these telephoto frames are all about. Fleeting moments and the small scene within the grand scene. Stunning morning, but mate, the fingers are, woo! This is what I always do. I just leave the gloves. Who knows where the gloves are? Back home somewhere probably. I just get carried away, get out here in nature, in the moment. You don't feel the pain until you stop shooting, and then you realise. Must be at least -3, -4 this morning, I'd imagine. Ah, wow. You know, I was about to head back, and then looking at the sun, probably in the next 5 to 10, it's going to flood down into the valley and potentially light up the fog and the tree down there. So why don't we just wait a few minutes and see what it does? We're actually getting a bit more fog roll back now. This is getting interesting. It was already beautiful, but the sun is just starting to kiss the mist. So I'm doing a few frames with and without the frosted foreground. That frosty foreground down the bottom, you know, does tell the story of the cold, but it's relatively bright. So a couple with that and then some tighter frames without it. Ha ha ha! Unbelievable. I'm glad we waited. That has just brought it to life. Trying to get some separation here, but I think the show's just about over. The frame is good, zoomed in quite tight, but also a little wider to show the valley floor. I just couldn't even talk. I just had to shoot that. Whoa, mate. And that's it. You could never have planned it. You just, Lost for words, guys. I just... It's those unplanned moments. That's why you do this. The way nature just reveals itself and surprises us, and you wonder sometimes how you were just standing at the right place at the right time, and then you look at how you got there and you were just there. I've got goosebumps just, yeah, okay, it's freezing cold, but it's put a shiver up my spine just thinking about how many times that's happened to me over the last 15 years with this camera. You're just there in that moment and it's gone. What beautiful conditions. Now, I've got to admit, I've come back with a few variations in the framing and composition as well as the light and atmosphere. I didn't want to rush the edit and throw it in the video because I just can't decide yet which one I might keep and put on my website in the portfolio. Sometimes when I make a YouTube video, I won't keep anything and it will more just be a scouting trip or something for educational purposes. But looking at these, I'm confident that I'll probably keep one for sure. Just not sure which one yet. So I've pulled up a few potentials here. This is basically my short list of selections. This is more or less the main comp that I was running with, and this is as the morning light just hit this tree, which I thought gave it a beautiful separation there from the background. Then I've got a tighter pano crop, a 16:9, getting rid of the mountain altogether and really making the tree the main subject. I've also got these black and white versions. Now keep in mind the processing on these has been really quick, so no judgment there. Black and white version of the tree with the pano. More light coming in, different atmosphere to what we had in that one, for example. Similar, slightly different. You can see the light on the tree changes quite a lot between those two frames. And then this was the type of atmosphere we got at the end. Probably too much light by this stage, especially down here on the tree. And then there's that version as well. I'm probably leaning towards keeping probably the frame I'm on there and then maybe the tree one. I don't mind maybe keeping these two because they are different. Normally I just really want to pick what I think is the best frame, and that will go on the website and in the portfolio. I do like the black and white though. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this anyway. Like I said, the processing's just been real quick. let me reset this one, for example, reset to default, bang. So it was a matter of just brightening things up, recover some of the dynamic range, maybe throw a landscape profile on. This one was also just tucked in a little tighter there with the framing. It was an interesting balancing act getting all these elements, and I had a massive nasty dust spot as well to deal with, and yeah, grading those highlights, so just warming those up a little really helped with things, but you get the idea. So that's where I'm at with these. Spectacular moment. After this shoot, I ended up spending another hour and I went into the forest. So I've got some footage from there, and then we'll take a look at some of the forest raw files. We're just making our way towards a light. There's nothing like a backlight in the forest. Really shows off the moss and the structure of the tree. Backlight and side light. I like the balance here of these three trees on the right of frame, and then this branch curving in from the left with that backlight. That's a nice little comp, I think. Gentle side light, and then the backlight. If you haven't seen yet, check out one of my recent videos on capturing forests. You'll know, you'll know that I mentioned the mid-range. I think it's one of the more versatile lenses to use in these environments, but I've got the wide angle in my pocket as well. I'm just working with the light now, and when I say working with the light, I really mean the shade. We're particularly looking for areas of shade and small portions of light, and that will really help us create a compelling comp that will let the eye flow effectively. So we need a lot of shade. That backlight is very handy. So I've pulled up 3 different raw files from that little session in the forest. Really, really nice way to finish off the morning. Now, the main one in the video was concentrating on this frame here. I do like that balance with the comp. And again, these haven't really been completely processed. I've just recovered enough to kind of show you guys what's going on. So I have this panorama, more of a tighter frame, concentrating on this large tree with the smaller branches either side. That's the one we looked at in the video I was shooting. And then I just wanted to show you guys this one to show an example of more of a side light, a dappled light. I don't know if I'm going to keep any of these, to be honest. When you're in a position like me where this is your backyard and you've already got a lot of forest and tree photos in the portfolio, same as mountains and everything else, you know, I don't believe in just putting stuff on social media and the website just for the sake of it. You might as well really make sure that it's kind of going to add something to your body of work already, which I'm not 100% certain any of these do. And, you know, this is kind of the part with photography where there is a freedom in just being able to let go and just say, hey, I just had a fun morning anyway. And at least in this case, I still got one of those images from the valley with the mountain and the tree. When it came to this forest session, it was really nice, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to hang on to anything, and I think you should really trust your gut instinct on that. You don't want to rush and delete things, especially when you're first starting out, but eventually you just know. Now, I did have a session in the forest about 2 weeks ago, and it was a very spontaneous shoot. I'm going to show you the footage now. Absolutely amazing light, as you can see. It was more or less in this exact little section of the forest. And from this one, I think I've got something worth keeping, but we might maybe look at that in another video. So this is why I'm saying for these, maybe I won't hang on to them, but hopefully it gives you an idea of the type of compositions that I'm looking for, the balance, the type of lighting. It is incredibly complex and challenging, but enjoyable as well. And I think if you go into it with that mindset of not being so worried about getting something worth keeping or not, it really frees you up out there. And hopefully you can get another opportunity anyway. Well, thank you for viewing the video, guys. Just a real typical glimpse at what a morning can look like here for me when I go out with the camera. It's not always doing big missions and taking the boat or hiking somewhere. Sometimes it's a lot closer. It's a pleasure sharing it with you. Thank you for your support. Please leave any questions or comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week.